Good morning, students. Today we will draw stress and curve for concrete and steel. So the figure shows the stress and curve for concrete. So along x-axis, strain is taken along x-axis and stress is taken along y-axis. So this is the stress and curve for concrete. So this is ideal curve. So as shown in the figure, the curve for the concrete is parabola in its initial stage up to a strain value of 0.002 where the slope becomes 0. So after that, with increasing load, the stress remains constant and strain increases. So at a strain value of 0.035, the concrete specimen had failed. So this is the ideal curve for the concrete, and this is characteristic curve. So in this curve, the factor 0.67 is introduced. So the factor 0.67 is introduced to take into account the differential strength indicated by the standard cube test and the actual strength of the concrete in the structure. So in addition to this, the IS code 456 2000 recommends that partial safety factor for concrete 1.5 shall be applied. So this is design curve. For example, take M20 grade of concrete. This is M20 grade of concrete. M means mix and 20 is the characteristic compressive strength of the concrete. So this is ideal value. So ideal value is 20 Newton per square millimeter. Then characteristic value 0.67 into 20. So this is 13.4 Newton per square millimeter. And then partial safety factor 1.5 is applied to this characteristic value. Then design value is 0.45 FCP. So this is equal to 0.45 into 20. This is 9 Newton per square millimeter. So then stress strain curve for steel. So this is the stress strain curve for steel. Steel, first of all, mild steel. Stress strain curve for steel. So first is mild steel. So this is strain along x-axis and stress along y-axis. So this is the curve for mild steel. So the mild steel having characteristic strength of mild steel Fe250 grade with characteristic strength of 250 Newton per square millimeter. So the stress strain curve for mild steel is this. This is characteristic curve. So as shown in the figure, the stress is directly proportional to strain up to yield point. This is yield point. And after that, with increasing load, the stress remains constant and strain increases. So the change from elastic to plastic condition is abrupt, that is sudden. So therefore, the mild steel shows a definite yield point. So this is the characteristic curve and partial safety factor gamma m 1.15 is applied to this characteristic value to get the design curve. So this is design. This is Fy and this is 0.87 Fy. Then the characteristic curve for HY SD bar, that is high yield strength, the forward bars. is applied to the characteristic value to get the design value. So this is design value. This is fy and this is 0.87 fy. So this is the stress strain curve for the mild steel bar. So mild steel bar, stress strain curve for the HYSP bar, high yield strength performance bar. So high yield strength performance bar like FB 415 grade and FB 500 grade. So 415 Newton per square millimeter and 500 Newton per square millimeter is the characteristic strength of the steel. So for example, this consider FB 415 grade steel. So for this, so characteristic strength of the steel is 415 Newton per square millimeter and the design value is 0.87 fy. That is 415 upon 1.15. That is 361 Newton per square millimeter. So then singly reinforced beams. Singly reinforced beam so this is the cross section of singly reinforced beam. Anchor bars, this is main steel bars, and this is substitution of neutral axis. So this is the width of the beam section, and this is the effective depth of the beam section, and capital D is the overall depth of the beam section. So these are the rings or strips, and xq is the in the limit state of collapse, xq is the depth of the neutral axis from top. So this is the cross section of the singly reinforced beam, in which d is the overall depth of the beam section and small d is the effective depth of the beam section. These are the anchor bars. So this is AST, that is cross section area of the steel in tension, and xq is the depth of the neutral axis from top. Then effective cover. This is effective cover. This is effective cover, that is stands between the center of the main steel bar to the bottommost edge of the beam. So then neutral axis. So neutral axis, it is an imaginary axis which divides the cross section of the beam into two zones, that is compression zone and tension zone. So the stresses are zero at the neutral axis, and neutral axis is always situated at the center of gravity of the section. So this is compression zone and this is tension zone. Then various assumptions made in the limit state of collapse. So next is assumption in
L3
assumptions made in limit state of collapse. First, plane section normal to the axis remain plane after bending. It means plane at any point on the cross section is proportional to its distance from the neutral axis. So 2, the maximum strain in the concrete at the outermost compression fiber is taken at 0.0035 in bending. 3, the relationship between the stress strain distribution in concrete is assumed to be parabolic, and design compressive stress is this is equal to 0.67 FCK upon partial safety factor 1.5, that is 0.45 FCK. concrete. And 4. The tensile strength of the concrete is ignored. 5. The stresses in the reinforcement are obtained from the stress strain curve or the type of steel used, and for the design purpose partial safety factor gamma m equal to 1.15 shall be applied. Then maximum 6.6 the maximum strain in the tension reinforcement in the section at failure shall not be less than shall not be less than should be more than Fy upon 1.15 ES plus 0.002. That is, so maximum it should be more than 0.87 Fy upon ES plus 0.02. So where Fy is the characteristic strength of steel and ES is the modulus of elasticity of steel.